is your latest Africa news. Africa-wide, Africa's donkeys are being stolen and slaughtered for Chinese medicine. Angola declares 7 days of national mourning after Jose Eduardo dos Santos' death. Somalia, concerns as Somalis get high on ants. Ethiopian PM sorry for failure over villagers' deaths. Kenya raises criminal age of responsibility to 12. DRC, fresh clashes in DR Congo as rebels dash ceasefire hopes. Diaspora, court finds France negligent in Caribbean pesticide case. Africa's donkeys are being stolen and slaughtered for Chinese medicine. A popular period drama on Chinese TV has helped lead to the theft and brutal slaughter of millions of donkeys in Africa, a media report has said. It all started when fans of the show Empress in the Palace saw the aristocratic characters using a traditional Chinese medicine called a jiao, which is made from donkey skin. As a result of this program, the demand for a jiao went through the roof, but China simply did not have enough donkey to meet demand. The Chinese then started looking for donkeys abroad, particularly in Africa. When locals didn't want to sell, theft started, with distressed farmers finding their precious donkeys skinned and left to rot. China needs about 5 million donkeys a year to produce and meet the demand for a jiao, and about 3 million of these come from Africa. Angola declares 7 days of national mourning after the death of former President Eduardo dos Santos. Angola has declared 7 days of national mourning following the death of former leader Eduardo dos Santos. President João Lourenço made the announcement describing dos Santos' death as a big loss to the country. The former leader, commonly known as Jose Eduardo dos Santos, died in Spain on the 8th of July, where he had been hospitalized for several weeks. According to a presidential decree, the national mourning began at midnight on the 9th of July. Concerns as Somalis get high on ants. Police in Somalia has classified a particular kind of ant as a drug after finding out that people were steaming the insect and inhaling their vapor to get high. Odorous house ants, whose scientific name is Tapinoma sessile, are known to contain formic acid. There are accounts of birds appearing drunk after eating large quantities of these ants. Doctors have warned that coming into contact with formic acid can cause dizziness, nausea, and vomiting. Ethiopia PM sorry for failure over villagers' deaths. Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has said his government is deeply sorry that it would not protect civilians killed in recent attacks. Farming villages in Oromia region in the country's west were targeted in a wave of attacks that claimed more than 300 lives. Mr. Abiy, however, said the recurrence of violence was not as a result of negligence by the authorities. The Prime Minister was met with questions from lawmakers on why security forces have repeatedly failed to prevent attacks. Mr. Abiy additionally condemned unnamed foreign enemies and domestic traitors for the country's worsening security problems. Kenya raises criminal age of responsibility to 12. Kenyan children have scored a big win following the signing of Children's Bill 2021 into law by President Uhuru Kenyatta on the 7th of July. The new law, which now replaces the Children's Act of 2001, is a huge reprieve to Kenyan children who come in conflict with the law. To begin with, the new law has raised the age of criminal responsibility from the current 8 to 12 years. The new law also states that children accused of committing minor offenses will not be taken through the court system. Rather, they will be diverted to community-based systems. For cases that are not minor, the law states that the Chief Justice may designate children's courts in counties and sub-counties and appoint a magistrate to preside over the cases in which a child is a victim or complainant. Fresh clashes in DR Congo as rebels dash ceasefire hopes. Fresh clashes between M23 rebels and soldiers have rocked eastern DR Congo, officials have said, as the militia declared that it was not bound by a ceasefire agreement. M23 spokesman Willy Ngoma on July 7th stated that the deal brokered between the Congolese and Rwandese president in Angola was irrelevant. Talks between the DRC, Congo's leader Felix Tshisekedi, and Rwanda's Paul Kagame in Angola on July 6th initially raised the prospect of a ceasefire between the M23 and Congolese government. Violence between the mostly Congolese Tutsi rebels and the DR army has flared in recent weeks. The DRC has repeatedly accused neighboring Rwanda of backing the M23, a charge the country has denied. Court finds France negligent in Caribbean pesticide case. A court in Paris has found the French government guilty of wrongful negligence involving the former use of banned pesticides in the French Caribbean islands of Guadeloupe and Martinique, but denied compensation to those affected, officials have said. The ruling was bittersweet for activists and attorneys who argued that the French government's authorization to use chlorhydricone in those islands was illegal, and they sought damages for the defendants. The lawsuit is one of at least two filed against the French government involving the use of chlorhydricone in Guadeloupe and Martinique. The first lawsuit, filed in 2006, is still pending before the courts and accuses the French government of failing to protect the health of its people and not doing enough to identify the limit effects of chlorhydricone pollution in both islands. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, follow, share, and like this video. It's the best way of supporting us. And remember, Africa is watching.